Morning children, I am G. Venkateswara Rao, English faculty from St. Thomas High School, Nuzwedu. Today I want to introduce the English contents. You have 6 units. Each unit contains 3 lessons, 3 parts, part A, part B and part C. I would like to introduce the first unit today. The first unit name is humor. Do you know what is the meaning of the humor? The meaning of the humor is funny or amusing. So while we are learning the subject of funny and knowledge, here if you have the textbook, open the textbook, you can see the picture. In the textbook you can see one line. One line is watching his reflection in the well, and below the picture some questions also asked here. Look here, what is the first question asked here? What did the lion do on looking at its own reflection? So whenever the lion saw its reflection in the well, how it affect, how it feel? Some options are given here. Option A, enjoyed its beauty. Option B, felt threatened. Option C, felt angry. By seeing the picture we can say that the lion is getting angry. Because of that, the angry thought that, and another lion was there in the well. As a human beings we can understand, we are seeing our reflection, but the lion thought that another lion is there in the well. Because of that, the lion thought itself it is the king of the forest. That's why it is angry to another lion. It is a very funny one. Now today we are going to discuss one lesson about the snake and the mirror, about one pet. We are going to discuss today one doctor's funny story. He is saying himself and what the instance happened in his life. The title of the lesson is The Snake and the Mirror. Do you know snake? Yes, everyone knows the snake, and also everyone interact with the mirror. And morning onwards we are watching our face in the mirror. So let us start our lesson. If you have the textbooks, open the textbooks and see the first paragraph. As a snake ever coiled itself round any part of your body, a full-blooded cobra, all of us fell silent. The question came from the homeopath. The topic came up when we are discussing snakes. We listened attentively as the doctor continued with the tale. The lesson started with a question. What kind of the question? As a snake ever coiled itself round any part of your body. Whenever we see the snake, we feel some fear, some afraid. But here question, whenever have you ever experienced the snake coiled any part of your body? Coiled means it is twisting or turning to your body. And what kind of the snake? A full-blooded cobra. What is the meaning of the full-blooded cobra? Means a big snake or a strong snake. And whenever the doctor asked this question and remaining all the practices, the doctors, the junior doctors felt very silent. And who asked this question? Homeopath. Homeopath means a person who practices homeopathy. Understand? Homeopath means a person who practices homeopathy. And why the doctor said about the snake means while they were discussing about the snake, the doctor introduced about the snake incident. And also whenever the doctor started to tell about his own experience with the snake, we are all attentively listen to the doctor, what happened in his life. So that is the first paragraph. And come to the second paragraph and watch the textbook while I am reading. It was a hot summer night about 10 o'clock. I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. I heard a noise from above. As I opened the door, the sound was a familiar one. One could say that rats and I shared the room. I took out my box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. Here mentioned when this incident occurred in the summer season. At what time mentioned here? 10 o'clock at night time. And he went outside and also reached his room at night time. And also what purpose he went outside? He want to take a meal. And where did he take his meal? At restaurant. Do you know restaurant? We can see in the towns and cities so many five-star hotels are there, some restaurants are there, and everything, the food items are available. And after completing his meal, he returned to his room, and when he opened, while he was opening his room, he listened a noise. He listened a noise, and the sound was very familiar one. What is the meaning of the familiar one? It is a well-known one. It is not a strange one. That means we can understand every day he listens the sound in his room. That's why the doctor mentioned it was a familiar one, not a strange one. And one could say that rats and I shared the room. Because of that, not only he is living in his room, and rats also sharing with him, along with him. So that's why if anyone visit that room, simply they can say that he is sharing the room with the rats. I took out my box of the matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. So he came to his room at the night time. The room was very dark. That's why he lighted a kerosene lamp. And with what? With a matchbox. Do you know matchbox? Nowadays everyone is using some gas lighters, but in the olden days the people, those who are living in the village areas, some tribal areas, if they want to cook some food, are also with the firewood they are cooking the food, they needed the fire with the matchboxes. That is the matchbox. Did you understand? And shall we go for the next paragraph? Yes, watch the third paragraph. The house was not electrified. It was a small rented room. I had just set up medical practice and my earnings were meager. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase along with some shirts and dhotis. I also possessed one solitary black coat which I was then wearing. So what is the reason he lighted the kerosene lamp? Because of that, where he was living, the room was not electrified. That means there is no electricity facility. Only for lighting, he is lighting the kerosene lamp. And it was a small rented room. And it was not his own room, his own house. It was a rented room and also a small room. I had just set up medical practice and my earnings were meager. Here also mentioned I had just set up. What is the meaning of the setup? SETUP, setup. Can you guess? According to the grammar, it is a phrasal verb. Set is a verb, up is a preposition. So that's why whenever we are taking the verbs following the preposition, that word comes as a preposition. We don't take the separate meaning of the separate words. We combine the both words and we are taking the meaning of the phrasal verb. Setup. What is the meaning of the setup? I started the medical practice. My earnings were meager. Meager means very less. Because of that, you newly came to that profession and also started the medical practice. His earnings were very less, not in a large quantity, a small quantity. That is called a meager. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase. And how much money he had in his suitcase? Only 60 rupees. Along with some shirts and dhotis, I also possessed one solitary black coat which I was then wearing. And this is his property in that room. And also along with the 60 rupees he had some shirts and dhotis. And he also possessed one solitary. Solitary means a single black coat. Whenever he goes outside, he wearing that coat. Understand? Did you all understand the third paragraph? What purpose? And he lit the kerosene lamp. The house was not electrified. And also, what did he start? He started a medical practice. and also he started the newly practice. That's why his earnings were very bigger. Only he had the amount of the 60 rupees in his suitcase. Along with the money, he had only some shirts and dhotis, and he had a solitary black coat, only single coat. That is the third paragraph. Did you understand? Okay, watch the fourth paragraph. I took off my black coat, white shirt, and not so white vest and hung them up. I opened the two windows in the room. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open art. It had a tiled roof with long supporting gables that rested on the beam over the wall. There was no ceiling. There was a regular traffic of rats to and from the beam. I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. I lay down, but I could not sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda for a little air, but the wind god seemed to have taken time off. Listen, here the fourth paragraph also started. I took off my black coat. Took off. What is the took off according to the grammar? It is a phrasal verb. What is the meaning of the take off? Removed. He removed his black coat and white shirt. Under the coat, what kind of the shirt he wore? A white shirt. And under the shirt, what kind of the vest he wear? Not so white. It is not a so white. And he take off means he removed his coat, his white shirt and not white vest, and also hung them up. That means after removing our shirts and something, we are hanging to the wall with the nail to the nail or something. I opened the two windows in the room. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open art. And already we mentioned that he took a small room. It was a very dark room. That's why you want to get air. That's why you open the two windows, and also only one open is there, one entering the gate and into the home, and you open the door. And it had a tiled roof with a long supporting gables that rested on the beam over the wall. And also we are living in that bungalows and some different kinds of the houses. We have the ceiling with the concrete and cement, but that house roof is and made with the tiles. Have you ever idea about the tiles? In the olden days, this kind of the houses are there. And also lower classes also you learn about the types of the houses. What kind of the houses? And also thatched houses, tile house, and also ceiling houses like this. So that's why this house roof was made with a tiles. Did you understand the tile? Like a red in color and a small size, and also they frame the beam on the top of the roof, and also they put the tiles on the frame. Understand? Okay. Pass it.